Good morning. Travelling across to London this morning to meet some high-profile patriots, also some genuinely patriotic politicians. We'll be meeting in Westminster, and really we're meeting to discuss how to move the movement forward. As we all know, there has been several setbacks, to say the least, and we're looking at ways that we can get things back on track. And I had meetings a few weeks ago with several other people from different groups, and it's an ongoing process. And obviously, as things develop, we'll announce what we see as the strategy, and if people think that's a good idea, they can follow and they can join. At the moment, right now, the United Kingdom is facing its biggest threat probably since the formation of Northern Ireland in 1921. There is a direct threat to the United Kingdom. There's a direct threat to the structural integrity of the United Kingdom. Northern Ireland is basically being annexed by the European Union, economically annexed. Northern Ireland is going to be pushed into an economic United Ireland. That is happening. Now, I am a patriot. I'm an English patriot, but first and foremost, I am a UK British patriot. I believe that the union of the United Kingdom, Great Britain and Northern Ireland is the best way that we can live together in these islands, the most peaceful way, the most secure way, and also it's the one that binds us all together as British people. That's under direct threat, and the European Union has very cynically and very deliberately used proxies, and the proxies it's used are the Remainiac MPs in Parliament, the Remainer rebels and traitors across here in Northern Ireland, and it's also used the Irish government. The Irish government is not an independent state anymore. The Irish state is not an independent state anymore. It is a vassal state of the European Union. But the organisation and the group that is absolutely to blame for the situation that we find ourselves in is the European Union. And the executive or government arm of the European Union is the European Commission. So what I've suggested, and what I think is the way to go with this, because when we're dealing with proxies and we're dealing with basically people who are more or less on the payroll of the European Union, you're not getting to the heart of the matter. You're not getting the axe to the root. And the root of the problem that we face in the United Kingdom is the European Commission. The European Commission is the belly of the beast. It is the heart of the evil empire. And if we strike at the heart, if we strike this thing, if we put the axe to the root, we've got a chance of solving the problem. So what we need to do, we need to target EU infrastructure with demonstrations. And when I'm talking about EU infrastructure, I'm talking about the offices of the European Union. And there's 4 of them. There's one in London, there's one in Cardiff, there's one in Edinburgh, and there's one in Belfast. And I think for the first time ever, we are going to have simultaneous pro-United Kingdom, pro-unionist demonstrations. And when I talk about unionist, I'm talking about the whole unionist family. I'm talking about patriots throughout the United Kingdom who love the United Kingdom. Patriots coming together peacefully on Friday at 3:30 in London, Cardiff, Edinburgh and Belfast, and protesting outside the offices of the evil empire, outside the offices of the European Union, outside the offices of the European Commission. Because it's the European Commission in 2017, the European Commission put forward this proposal of an economic annexation of Northern Ireland, because they know that will destroy the Union. They know that if they do that to Northern Ireland, then Scotland will try and make a case that they have a justifiable cause to leave the UK single market and join the European single market. And that's what this is about. This is about a plot by the European Union. They've out-negotiated, they've run rings around Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson has betrayed the United Kingdom. He is not a leaver. His deal is not true Brexit, as Nigel Farage says. He has absolutely betrayed the people of Northern Ireland. After making promises that he wouldn't put a border down the Irish Sea, he's put a border down the Irish Sea. And this will lead to the destruction of the Union. So that even if you don't really care too much about Northern Ireland, which you should, if you're a patriot, you should care very deeply about Northern Ireland. But even if you don't, and you're concerned about the rest of the Union, what Boris Johnson's done, and what the European Union have tricked him into, through the threat of violence, I might add, they use their proxies. They use their proxies, and use the threat of terrorism, and they use the media, and they use terrorist organisations, they use the Irish government to threaten the British government with violence. That's what's happened here. And in fact, a Conservative MP is on record as saying that he would rather face down Unionists. Isn't that disgusting? A Conservative and Unionist MP said he'd rather face down Unionists than face IRA bombs in his constituency. Well, he may have picked the wrong fight there. He may well have picked the wrong fight. So, demonstrations this Friday outside all those European Commission offices. And let's make some noise, and let's make the European Commission know that it is not welcome, that we see it as an occupying power. I see the European Union as a hostile and occupying power in Northern Ireland now. It's as simple as that. And we need to go after their infrastructure. And we also need to get boots on the ground in Dublin. I think a protest in Dublin outside the Taoiseach's office, because Leo Varadkar has a huge amount of responsibility in this. We need to make our voices heard. Again, I'm not advocating anything illegal or violent. I believe in peaceful democratic protest. But when the democratic process fails, then you have to put boots on the ground peacefully, and you have to make your voice heard. So, 3:30 this Friday, 8th of November, outside every single European Commission office throughout the UK. That's Cardiff, London, Edinburgh, Belfast, 3:30. Let's make them know that they are not welcome in our country. The European Commission, it's time to go. Get the EU out of the UK.